Hi class, welcome back to our instructor lecture series. This is chapter 14 inside of your introduction text for week 7 inside of sports, recreation, and fitness. And this week we are going over recreational sport management. So our introduction slide here is just going over what we will be talking about inside of this instructor lecture. So we will be talking about foundation of recreational sport management, meaning how did sports get started in America and how they have grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Second is the broad scope of programming recreational sports activities and events. Third is future trends affecting recreational sport management. And fourth is our career opportunities that are present today. So here we go. Overview of sport in America. Sport is a large part of American culture. Interest and participation from all sectors of society are reaching an unprecedented levels, meaning they are reaching a high. It has become much more of a big deal inside of our culture than it was maybe 50 to 100 years ago. Sports has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. In the United States, sports serve almost as a religion. So a good example of this is football. There are a lot of people inside the United States that love football, and all they do on Sundays is watch football. It is their quote-unquote religious experience, meaning they take the time, they set it aside, and they do it every single week without fail. Fourth here is sports has become entertainment and spectator-oriented, so it's a way to build community. People come together, they spend time together, and it's also entertainment. People like watching it for fun. And fifth is sport is participant-oriented and serves diverse populations through a variety of programs and activities. So it provides an outlet for all types of different people and people groups. Sports around the globe, sport and physical activity have become a universal phenomenon. So this isn't just in the United States, it's all over the world. Over half, meaning 51% of Canadian children 5 to 14 years old, or an estimated 2 million youth, regularly took part in organized sport inside of Canada. Over 11 million Australians aged 15 years and over participated at least once a week in physical activity for exercise, recreation, and sport, and participation rate of 69.2% is where they are at now. Effect of increased popularity of sports. So the influence on future delivery programs is quite large because sports have increased in their ability to provide entertainment and they've increased in opportunities for people who want to participate. There are now delivery programs that need to be presented to those people who want those opportunities. Sport has become an entertainment and spectator oriented, like I said before, and record numbers of people are attending professional sporting events. So they do it for fun, or it's almost like a religious experiment. They have their team, they have their athlete that they root for, and they go and they watch and they support. Professional athletes are considered folk heroes and are paid astronomical salaries. So a great example of this would be players in the NFL or in the NBA. If you were to compare the salary of somebody in the NFL who's just starting out to, say, a veteran inside of the military, their salary would be astronomically higher than the person who is serving our country. Looking at sport management from a recreational perspective, sport management is the umbrella term for administration and management of a large number and variety of sports, fitness, wellness, and recreation programs. Traditionally seen as a business enterprise, especially professional sports marketing, sales, public relations, promotion, sporting goods, media relations, and fundraising. So there is a huge recreational perspective here, not just from the standpoint of enjoying yourself and having leisure activity, but it is a huge business enterprise. And to put on this enterprise, you have all of these different types of jobs that are offered below. Continued major defining characteristic of a recreational sport management focuses on sport participation for the masses. So a great example of this would be AYSO soccer. I know growing up, I would watch my younger siblings play AYSO soccer, and it was run through the city, so anyone was allowed to join. They would put you on a specific team, and then from AYSO soccer, that kind of weeded out the kids who weren't very good, but they could stay and continue to play because it was something that was making money for the city, while the other kids who got better at soccer were then recruited to go play on club teams. Recently, sport management has begun to emphasize leadership and management of people and resources in a variety of participatory or recreational settings. So a great example of this would be the CEO or somebody who owns, let's say, somebody who owns the Lakers or somebody who owns the Rams or the Clippers, or, if we're taking NBA or taking the NFL as an example. If you do not have good sport management, if you own the team, but you don't have a good coach, you don't have a good assistant coach, you don't have good athletic trainers or people who are working the facilities, you are in big, big trouble. leisure sports management model. So here's a model. We find it in our text. I will let you look over that yourself. Defining recreational sport. So recreational sport is involvement in sport during leisure time, either as an active participant or as a spectator at one of the levels on the leisure sport hierarchy. Sport for all is designed to give everyone an active role regardless of their interest, age, race, gender, or athletic ability. Participant-driven. Programmers place significant interest and efforts on participants' wants and needs. 5 programming areas of recreational sport management. So there are 5 of them: instructional sports, informal sports, intramural sports, extramural sports, and club sports. Components of defined would be instructional sports. They teach a recreational sport activity emphasizing skills, rules, strategies, and in a non-credit or academic environment. So examples of this would be strength and conditioning training, jogging, walking, cycling, swimming, golfing, bowling, tennis, and racquetball. Informal sports are self-directed participation with an individualized approach to fun and fitness. So this is not something that you are trying to win a medal at or win a conference championship. That would be considered backyard volleyball or softball at a family picnic, pickup basketball at a local park, early morning swims, lunchtime runs, and solitary workouts on your own. Intramural sports would be leagues, tournaments, and contests conducted within a particular setting. So examples would be individual sports, dual sports, team sports, meet sports, and special events. This would be considered in college just like flag football, or you have intramural volleyball going on or intramural basketball going on. So normal students who are playing inside of the athletic department for that college can go and be a part of an intramural team, so they have great exercise and they also grab some community. Extramural sports, structured activities between winners and various intramural sport programs. So this could be considered Little League Baseball World Series or a collegiate intramural flag football championship team from one university playing against another collegiate champion for national championship recognition. Components defined here. Club sports are activities organized because of a common interest in a sport. So these range from very competitive clubs that travel and play in high-level competitions to recreational, social, and instructional clubs that conduct activities such as basic skills, instruction, and in-house tournament play. So example of this would be youth club soccer, which is popular in public sector, or another example could be the beach volleyball club that my husband and I run. We run 2 programs. We have one for kids who are just learning the sport, and they get to go and compete 3 or 4 times throughout their 4-month season, just kind of dip their toes in the water. Or we have our elite program where the kids go and compete every weekend or every other weekend, and they're trying to get recruited for college. Participants and locations. Participants would be considered recreational sport management is intended for the enjoyment of all age groups. So that would be children, youth, adolescents, adults, and senior citizens. So it's supposed to be exciting for every single age group. Location, participation occurs at indoor and outdoor sports facilities. So these are some examples of indoor facilities and outdoor facilities. You can read those on your own. Okay, recreational sport can take place indoors. So this is just a picture of basketball. Variety of sport settings are listed here. So that would be, armed forces, military bases around the world, boys and girls clubs, commercial facilities, schools, on-site industrial and corporate recreation sports facilities, private clubs, YMCA, and even on vacation resorts, hotels, motels, and cruise ships. Participation trends. Ranked by preference. Series 1 is recreational sports. So that could be exercise, walking, camping, swimming, fishing, bowling, bicycle riding, so on and so forth. And Series 2 could be working out at a club, boating, target shooting, inline skating, mountain biking, scooter riding, darts, skateboarding, and mountain biking. The benefits of this would be provision of important socioculture learning environments. So we're put in an environment with other people and we have to learn how to interact with each other appropriately while we're competing. Also enjoyment of the activity. You're just doing it because you like it. Third is, like I said, social interaction. 4th, health and physical improvements. 5th, economic growth. 6th, environmental protection. And 7th, social contribution. Individual benefits. It improves health, fitness, and self-esteem, provides opportunity to burn up excess energy and emotion not being released in other areas of life. So let's say that you had a really hard day at work, you're pretty angry about it, and you want to go and box for a couple of hours. So you go box, you hit a bag for a while, and then when you come home, you were able to release some of that anger and some of those endorphins and cool down before you go home and you spend time with your kids and your wife, or you go time and spend go home and spend time with your brother or your sister. Third, creates a positive social environment. So hopefully you're meeting people there that have a common interest and you can relate to that. Fourth is develops emotional control and positive expression of aggression. So I just gave you that example of boxing. Fifth is fosters cooperation. So you have to work together inside of a sports setting. It's not always about you, especially if you're playing a team sport. And six is develops integrity. You will not win all of the time, and you need to develop the ability to be honest when you make a mistake. So a great example of this is when you play volleyball. If you net, it's illegal, and developing the ability to be honest and say, hey, I netted when somebody asks you is a big deal. Community benefits. It enhances community identity and promotes community integration, allows learning and sharing of community values, deters antisocial behavior, meaning you're not just sitting at home doing nothing, you're actually active within your community and getting to know other people. It deters from vandalism, gang violence, and crime because people are now a part of a people group doing something that's healthy and normal. And fourth, it develops well-planned and well-managed sports facilities that can lead to economic benefits. Participation in recreational sport can benefit the community. So this is just a little picture. I would assume that this is for a basketball fundraiser of some type. Trends in recreational sport management, funding and budgeting, income generation for sport programs and facilities. Legal aspects would include laws as they apply to recreational sport programs and sports facilities. Facility construction growth as participants demand larger and more specialized facilities. Technology, so there's a selection of appropriate technology to augment operations. This could be having a website or having a database where participants can log in and see your updated live action feed of when classes are going on for your sports facility. Personnel, need for marketing and computer specialists to join the traditional recreational sports programming staff. So this will help you bring more people into your sport management facility. In programming areas, females represent more than 60% of participants. Health club memberships have almost doubled, and participation in extreme sports has skyrocketed. Parental concerns, alarming increase in number of injuries. And this is very true. It may lead to non-participation or alternative sports. So a good example of this is football. A lot of parents are not allowing their students to play or their children to play football anymore because of how detrimental the injuries have become. Background checks are paramount. Agencies must find ways to obtain background checks of all volunteers and staff to make sure that they are suitable to work with children or just suitable to work inside of their facility. There's a need for proper training as well. You can't just hire someone and throw them in to work with kids. You have to hire them and train them and teach them what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. Pragmatic considerations, there's an impact of the economy, so economic recession, advancements in technology, participation in school programs is key to long-term physical activity. So people who were inactive during school years are 3 times more likely to be inactive as adults. Meaning if you start your kids young, if they're active in PE, if they're active in sports, whether that's club or school sports, then they're more likely to be active as an adult. And I can attest to that myself as an athlete. My parents really limited our ability to be inside, and they always told us to go outside and play. Even if we weren't playing sports, which we usually were playing sports 4 to 5 days a week, we would come home. Parents said, hey, you have 30 minutes of TV a day. You guys all have to, there are 3 of us in my family. You guys all have to agree on what you're going to watch. And once that 30 minutes is up, the TV is going off and you are going outside. And I would have to find stuff to do. So jump on the trampoline, play in the pool, skateboard, bike, all of those different things. And it really taught me to be active as an adult. And that's a part of the reason why I coach, a part of the reason why I go to the gym, a part of the reason why I just go outside and take a walk with my husband, because I have made it just part of my everyday routine. Career opportunities. There are increased opportunities that range from face-to-face leadership to top administrative positions. So a great distinction of this would be myself and my husband. So I am the head coach of our beach volleyball club. My husband is a coach of our beach volleyball club, but he is the CEO and the director of our club, meaning he takes care of all of administrative work, and he also hires and fires people. 4 levels of personnel provide recreational sport management, so administrative staff, program administrative staff, program staff, and auxiliary staff. Administrative staff provides overall direction of program and its resources, staffing, budgeting, facilities, and equipment. Job titles may include administrator, director, and executive director. A master's degree and a minimum of 10 years of experience is typically required. Program administrative staff assist in the administrator in performing his or her duties. So job titles may include associate director, program director, fitness director, and so on and so forth. This requirement would be a bachelor's or a master's degree in recreation, a minimum of 5 years of programming. Staff responsibilities continue to be program staff. Entry-level position is responsible for recruiting, hiring, training, scheduling, support staff. This could include an assistant director, marketing assistant, building manager, personal trainer, and requires a bachelor's degree. An auxiliary staff is part-time position. It's paid on an hourly wage instead of a salary-based wage, or is a volunteer and works face-to-face with participants. Job titles include official, exercise leader, equipment room attendant, aquatics instructor, and it usually does not have a degree that's required besides being CPR certified and water safety instructor if you're working inside of a water environment. Job outlook. There are many employment opportunities available through all of these different things, and you can take a look at them. Amateur Athletic Union, so AAU, Armed Forces Recreation Association of Church Sport and Recreation Ministers, Boys and Girls Club, collegiate and campus settings, commercial sports, and so on and so forth. Professional organizations sponsor a wide range of continuing education courses, institutes, workshops, regional and national conferences, and other in-service training. They serve as an important link in helping the recreational sport managers stay abreast of the rapidly changing recreational sport management field and its implications for program delivery. So those are just two long sentences that basically are saying professional organizations can do a very good job of offering this wide range of continuing education courses for people who are trying to come in and work inside of the sports, recreation, and fitness world. Summary and future predictions. So this is the last slide inside of our PowerPoint. The recreative aspect of sport in American culture today is a well-established and well-recognized contributor to human enjoyment and vitality. The growth of recreational sport management programs will come from the following. 1, continually changing times. So things change over time. As time changes, we have to adapt to how our environment has changed and how our professional environment has changed. 2, continual awareness of opportunities. Don't just sit inside of a job. Let's say you become the assistant director of a sports facility for baseball and softball. Don't just sit inside of that job and be okay with it. Continue to learn about the sport. Just because you played it 10 years ago doesn't mean that hasn't evolved. And you need to bring those new techniques and those new things that contribute to the sport at a youth level and at a professional level into your facility so that you can properly prepare kids as they move forward. 3, increasing interest in sport participation and fitness by all age groups. So this is just across the board for everybody. If you are running a gym, let's say you're running a Planet Fitness, there's increased interest inside of sport participation. You could add a running club. You could add a cycling club. You could have a boxing club, all kinds of different things. Don't stay inside of your box. Think outside of the box and how you can bring more business into your business, but also how you can better serve the community around you. And that is our lecture for week 7, chapter 14, recreational sport management. Again, if you have any questions, send me an email and I am happy to talk to you about it. This is our second to last week of class. Make sure that you look ahead inside of week 8 and see what's required of you for your final assignment. Our final assignment is coming up. I will not be accepting any late final assignments. So you must turn your work in on time. If you have any questions in regards to that, send me an email and I'm happy to talk to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and I look forward to reading your work.